Good day, sir.
Yes, how are you, ma'am?
I'm very well, thanks. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and interview you. Remember, I once sent you a consent letter
Yes,
that
ma'am.
you responded a few days ago,
Yes, ma'am.
stating that you just explain or discuss. Feel free to discuss the difficulties that the learners are facing in the topic of geometry,
Yes, ma'am.
as well as the teachers.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
You are most welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
The first question, from your experience in teaching geometry, I believe you've got many years teaching at senior phase. Why is the topic considered challenging for the learners at senior phase?
Yes, geometry is abstract and requires a high level of visualization.
That's
One.
true. That's
The
true.
second, geometry is often taught in a very theoretical way with little emphasis on real-world applications. Again, geometry can be very demanding
That's
in
true.
terms of mathematical rigor. Learners need to be able to understand and apply complex theorems and proofs.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Next question. Do you think probably the teaching methods that are being used by the teachers might be the ones causing the failure to the topic? If so, how?
Yes. I think teaching methods play a very critical role in students' failure to learn geometry. For example, some teaching methods which can be problematic include focusing too much on memorization of formulas and theorems, or using a lecture method approach without enough opportunities for students to practice and apply what they are learning,
It's true. It's true.
or using teaching methods which are not engaging learners. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. The next question. Are there any specific subtopics within the topic of geometry where learners tend to struggle with oftenly? If they are there, what are the topics and why do you think they are difficult for the learners?
Yes, part of proofs, learners need to be able to think logically and abstractly in order to write proofs. Proofs like congruence,
That's true.
proofs like similar
Similar.
triangles, similar shapes. They provide learners with opportunities to explore geometric concepts actively, and then also focus on helping learners to understand the concepts behind geometric proofs rather than just memorizing proofs. Thank you, ma'am.
Right. The next question. What are some of the teaching methodologies a teacher can use to make geometry interesting, more accessible, as well as engaging for learners?
Yes, teacher needs to focus on developing students' spatial reasoning skills. This can be done through activities such as drawing
Yes.
and building models. Also, the teacher can use a variety of teaching methods, which includes hands-on activities,
Yeah.
group work, and problem solving. Also, we need to provide students with plenty of opportunities to practice and apply what they are learning. Also, we need to scaffold students' learning by providing them with support and guidance, such as just like figures, giving them figures.
Thank you very much, sir. So, how do you encourage critical thinking and problem-solving skills when teaching geometry. Are there any specific challenges you fail in nurturing these skills, like you personally?
Yes, for example, posing open-ended problems, asking problem or asking and probing questions, encourage learners to make mistakes or provide opportunities for collaboration. It helps learners to develop their critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Sometimes use technology to support problem solving, e.g. dynamic geometry.
Yes.
Software can be used to visualize geometric shapes and to explore different solutions to problems. Also, learners may be used to solve problems by following a set of procedures. Learners may be afraid to make mistakes. Teachers need to create a safe and supportive environment.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Question number 6. In your own opinion, what are some of the ways a teacher can do to assess learners' understanding of geometry?
Teachers can use a variety of ways to assess learners, like formal assessments,
That's true.
such as quizzes, tests, and examinations. Formative assessments, such as homework, assignments, classwork, to provide ongoing feedback to learners.
Yes.
Also, performance-based assessments, such as projects, presentations, and problem-solving tasks to assess learners' ability to apply geometric concepts to real-world problems. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Next question. Have you noticed any patterns in the misconceptions or common mistakes or maybe common errors made by learners when learning geometry?
There's confusion between parallel lines and perpendicular lines.
It's true.
And still on parallel lines, learners, they cannot separate properties of alternate angles, corresponding angles,
Yes.
co-interior angles, vertically opposite angles.
Yes.
The main challenge that I face on those parallel lines, everything is added. They say equals to 180, equals to 180, equals to 180. They cannot separate those concepts. They don't know which one, yet it is only angles on a straight line and co-interior angles where they add and then equals to 180 degrees, angles that are supplementary. But everywhere they say equals to 180, equals to 180. That is the first problem that I face when teaching parallel lines. And then they cannot separate similar and congruent figures. Proofs for similar, they are put on congruent, and proofs for congruent, they are put on similar. They cannot separate the two concepts of similarity and congruent. Learners may have difficulty visualizing and understanding three-dimensional shapes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You have explained so well. Right. Question number 8. Are there any resources or materials you find particularly helpful in teaching geometry?
Normally, I use textbooks.
Yes.
And there are a number of textbooks available that are specifically designed for teaching geometry at senior phase in South Africa. We have worksheets and practice problems. We have interactive geometry software
That's true.
that can help learners visualize geometric shapes and relationships, e.g. GeoGebra and Calibri 3D. Geometry games and puzzles, they also help learners. And then online resources like websites, videos, interactive exercises, they are there online. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. The 9th question. What are some of the benefits of learning geometry?
This includes, it develops critical thinking and problem solving skills.
That's true.
Improves spatial reasoning skills, which are essential for many different tasks such as navigation and learning to use abstract thinking, which are important for success in many different areas of life. Understanding the world around us.
Yeah, that's true.
And then preparing for future studies and careers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the last question say, what are your recommendations for how to improve teaching and learning of geometry in South Africa? Based on your experiences, what changes or improvements do you recommend in the CAPS document or probably an annual teaching plan?
Thank you.
Thank you.
By making geometry more relevant to learners, learners are more likely to be engaged in learning geometry if they can see how it is relevant to their lives. Teachers can do this using real-world examples and applications in their instructions. They can also use a variety of teaching methods to reach learners. They also can provide learners with feedback on their work and then differentiate instruction to meet the needs of all learners. Not all learners learn at the same pace or have the same level of prior knowledge. Geometry proofs are an important part of geometry, but they are difficult for learners to understand. So more content on geometric proofs would help learners to develop their critical thinking and problem solving skills. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for availing yourself in this interview. I really appreciate your contributions.
You are so much welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Yes.